A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. In the course of his teaching, Jesus said to the crowds, "Beware of the scribes who like to go around in long robes and accept greetings in the marketplaces, seats of honor in synagogues, and place of honor at banquets. They devour the houses of widows and, as a pretext, recite lengthy prayers. They will receive a very severe condemnation." He sat down opposite the treasury and observed how the crowd put money into the treasury. Many rich people put in large sums. A poor widow also came and put in 2 small coins worth a few cents. Calling his disciples to himself, he said to them, "Amen, I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors to the treasury, for they have all contributed from their surplus wealth. But she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had, her whole livelihood." The Gospel of the Lord. Holiness in small things. In the temple in Jerusalem, there were areas that separated different categories of people. On the outmost part was the court of the Gentiles. This was as far as non-Israelites could go. Next was the court of women, where Jewish women could stay because they were separated from the menfolk. Here collection boxes were placed in which people would drop money in these trumpet-shaped boxes for the support of God's temple. In today's Gospel, we find Jesus observing the crowd putting in their offering with the priest guardian of the treasury, thanking the generous donors and blessing them in return. Lost in the clinging of golden and silver coins is the clang of a widow's 2 lepta, or copper coins, which among the coins in circulation have the least value. She may as well have given only 1, yet she gives all that she has to live on. The 2 lepta would hardly make a sound. However, it is music to Jesus' ears, and he plucks her out from anonymity and raises her above all the benefactors of the temple. In the eyes of God, her 2 coins are far more valuable than the contributions of the wealthy because in them is her everything. The poor widow represents the true believer who entrusts everything to God. The figure of the Anawim, or the poor ones, who are blessed by God. She is the one who observes the greatest commandment of loving God with all her heart, mind, and strength. And God, who is rich in mercy, becomes her defender. What a contrast to the scribes whom Jesus has just denounced. For they devour the houses of widows. They are experts in the Mosaic law, and most probably for their lawyer's fee. They charge the widows too much that these have to use their savings or sell their properties to pay them. How ironic it is that the sizable amounts offered by all the ostentatious rich have come from the poor and simple people. The prophets have proclaimed that true religion in the case of foreigners, widows, and orphans who are most in need of protection takes the form of justice and protection. And yet the so-called practitioners and teachers of God's law do the opposite. In this case, what they offer God is blood money. There is nobility and holiness in small things. Pope Francis notes that the common life, whether in the family, the parish, the religious community, or any other, is made up of small everyday things. It was also true of the life that Jesus shared with his disciples, and Jesus asked his disciples to pay attention to details, like wine was running out of a party, that 1 sheep was missing, that of having oil for lamps, and the little detail of noticing the widow who offered her 2 small coins. The Pope concludes, "A community that cherishes the little details of love whose members care for one another and create an open and evangelizing community, is a place where the risen Lord is present, sanctifying it in accordance with the Father's plan.